ਅਸੀਂ तो अपना पैसा लगाया सी आराम ना सोते सी अब लोन ले लिए कर लिया टेबलेट लेके सोते हैं so much of pressure. Look at Kingfisher. If Mr. Vijay Mallya would have any face, can he read all that? Can he read that? 6,500 crores in debt. You're pleading 500 crores a quarter, and you're flying like a king, using everywhere. If that's your outlook, that I will die with all the debt and still not, still be feel happy, how many people will do that? How many people? Some people would not even like to go for a debt research because this is insulting.
I think, thank you. That was very good insight you gave. So maybe now a question for the Stangia, different way. Stangia, of course, you represent Punjab government, and I think there was experience of SIDBI relationship before in building a venture.
Punjab
venture capital. So I think one more question is coming from your point of view. What is your vision from the government point of view for a startup in this region? Why this fund has been created? What is what do you think that how will it benefit people in this room? And maybe just a little bit of the pitch on that area, then we can put the questions on top.
Thank you, Mr. Prasad. Basically, as a startup, all the projects are started with promoters investment, bootstrap investments, and as and when business grows, there is always requirement for more capital, which can be in the mix of debt or equity. And we generally say venture capital, but as far as this is concerned, and looking at experience of US industry, VCs are fit only for big size investment, they generally say $1 million and above investment. Otherwise, so small startup investments, seed capital investments are there. Probably the level of confidence of investments in seed capital is not so large in this part of this country. As far as Punjab Venture Capital Fund is concerned, it was started in association with SIDBI and Punjab Government Corporation, that's Punjab Infotech, PSIDC, PSC. The basic objective was to promote IT industry in the state of Punjab, and lack of finance availability was considered as one of the reasons. And normally, banks also they claim that they offer finances collateral free, but in practice, to a great extent, they ask for collateral. So, objective was to give equity to startup companies with the ticket size ranging from say 5 million to 150 million, because total corpus was 20 crore, and it was essentially meant for SME because 50% of the money was coming from SIDBI. That's the precondition.
Even now it's the same.
No, I'll explain. Unfortunately, in government, sometimes scarcity of money creates a lot of delays. After 4.5 crore was raised, like there was no money in the government corporation like PSIDC, PSC. So SIDBI was also contributing on matching basis. So SIDBI also refused to put in more money. So after investment of 4.5 crore in 5 ventures, there was no money, and out of 5 investments, I will also share the experiences and what sort of strategy they followed so that it becomes comparatively risk-free investment. So then government took a decision that let us invite private investments in the fund so that private investor brings in money which can be utilized for financing the IT projects. But since private investor wanted to earn profits as well, so the private investor stipulated a condition that besides IT, other knowledge-based industry should also be permitted for investment. That is one which was agreed by the government. The second condition, they wanted that apart from Punjab, that this fund be made available for investment elsewhere in North India in profit-making ventures. So that was also agreed, and SIDBI stipulated that 4.5 crore was first of all raised, corpus was 20 crore, so let 15.5 crore be first invested in Punjab. When the corpus is raised beyond 20 to say 50 crore, that can be invested elsewhere. There is a Mumbai-based company, Subcom Venture, that was approved by.
They have given the money now?
No, they are in the process of signing proper documentation with the government, and they bring in 15.5 crore within 3 months time.
Any particular size the deals they look at?
As per even SEBI's guidelines, up to 15% of the total fund size can be invested in a company. So about 3 crores. They are also looking at investments ranging from say 50 lakhs to max of 3 crores per project.
And is it specific or?
No, it will be knowledge-based industries, not manufacturing sector, but other knowledge-based industry. But Punjab government, when this fund was functional, took a conservative approach. We invested in the form of convertible debentures only, so that regular return, and 2 of the companies in which investment was made returned the money back with interest, Chandigarh-based companies. So that was the approach. Shabla rightly mentioned quasi-equity instrument, which is beneficial both for the investor as well as industry's point of view.
That's a very good. That matches with your.
And you raised the question about borrowing vis-a-vis equity. There is a concept called financial leverage in the financial terms. So you have to see percentage of return, post-tax return on your investment, which is available to the investors. If after paying 10-12% interest and with 50% tax rebate, if you can grow the percentage of return on investment, is always welcome. And the other important issues, there is a size beyond which one can't grow without borrowing as well, because equity 100, that's why always norms are revised from time to time. The third aspect I would like to mention is project-specific requirements also, like infrastructure projects. We are in the process of developing IT parks and SCC projects. Essentially for infrastructure projects, against the norms of 2:1, banks are comfortable with 4:1 debt equity as well. So depending on the size of the requirement of funds and nature of industries, payback period, promoters' contribution and debt equity norms are rated accordingly.
Since debt equity stuff again came up, I just want to ask what are your views, Mr. Chawla, when it comes to the point of bankruptcy or the company going in liquidation? At that moment, do you think equity would have been cheaper than debt? Because let us first take the example of Kingfisher. Now 23% of it is owned by consortium because it was also converted to equity.
That was also part of the restructuring that was done in January this year.
So at this moment, it's a comfort level, Mr. Malia, at least 23% of the risk now is with the banks. Obviously, the equity shareholders will be the last paid in terms of. So at that moment, I know it's a negative outlook.
I will answer that in a bit different. What we're missing out when talking about debt equity ratio per se, what Mr. Nange says 4:1 for an infrastructure project, is because of the asset backing of the project. The lender is not comfortable with the promoter but with the asset. So these are real estate long-term projects and they cannot sustain a high rate of interest. They have to be always looking for long-term, long-distance, 20, 25, 30 years. But for any project, if you want to look at debt, look at the cash flows. Because my cash flow will be lower because I need to pay monthly, quarterly payments to banks. When it is equity, I don't have to pay. I can only pay when I'm able. Right? So when I said norms are totally different. If I were to advise somebody, I would say go with your cash flows. Go with your discounted cash flows. How do they look like? Go for a sensitivity analysis in the market. The market goes down by so much percentage. Let us see one thing what has happened in the last 2 quarters. Leave aside this quarter. I'm talking about 2 quarters, not the September ending, but 2 quarters before. If you look at all the nifty companies, right, the profits before interest, depreciation and amortization and taxation were higher by 23%. That means the top line had grown very hugely. The margins were high, right? But if you look post-interest and depreciation and taxation and amortization, it was down by 2% because of the interest component, right? Now the interest is floating interest. They were 11.5 or at best 12 for bad companies. Today it was 17%, 16% bad companies. Even a good company will not be able to borrow today at 7%. Now, if these interest rates swings happen and you're not factored into the cash flow sensitive analysis, then you're bound to be out of business because you have that. So it is cash which runs the business, not actually the gearing. So look at first the cash flows. Are we able to get that cash to serve? Equity I can delay. I can give a bumper bonus in the end without giving a dividend for 3 years. But I can't do that with debt. So here is where the hybrids come in play. Now it's very important when you talk of Kingfisher, very important that who's a banker. Now only 5% banks in India, the lead banks, out of which SBI is the most, understands what is equity and what is the convertible. Other banks will not able to do it, the accommodation of 50 years. So that means your own banker which is there, and can you go back to him, get it converted? Or वो भी उन्होंने कोई choice ही नहीं है, बस restructuring का part होता है, चलो उसकी equity बना दो. बाद में बैंक को कुछ मिलता नहीं. I've seen a number of cases which gone to liquidation. Bank actually suffered a loss. Would have been better off going for one settlement much earlier or selling of the asset. But whatever we say, there is still a social angle to our PSU banks. Mr. Namgia today still does a lot of business which is social angle because it is government responsibility to promote industry. If you look at the private sector, tell me a bank which is converted debt into equity. How many have done that? How many have funded second time, third time? How many have participated in restructuring? Very few. They only big and big ones. And they're doing more asset funding and the top funding, not the base funding. So that is similarly when you're going out. I have seen people borrowing at 12%, 2%, 3% per month in the local industry to run business. And this is promoter's own borrowing to run because he did manage cash accordingly or cash doesn't happen according to that. He's borrowing at 2% to pay the bank at 18% per annum or 8% later 2% per annum. So he's actually incurring cost. How does he pay? You can actually get caught into a debt trap. So it's always good to take a decision to sell out. Today if they sell out UB house in Bombay, they might actually get on the subject. But will you do that? Will you do that? Many companies have done that. And to be honest, if this boom of 2004 property का नहीं होता, lot of industrialists would have been buying bust. Lot of bankers would have been jailed because of NPA accountability. All these people went for OTS, sold their lands, paid off the bank at 50% of the outstanding, and are a successful businessman. But actually there's something else. So real estate is a good angle to your business. So you should accumulate some real estate, not on borrowed money, but on your own accounts. That could come handy any time of life. Because debt, once you get into debt, I would bet you will come out. Well, nobody touch you. Anybody gives money to you at all cost. I see it every day, happening every day. So it's better to go slow, not go by what is maximum possible, but what is most conservative that you need, and do a double check. I think it's only always a trade-off between your own passion to grow. Is it realistic? Can you handle? Many people don't have management bandwidth to handle that kind of money that they borrow. They don't know how to handle that money, how to handle deposit itself. And they depend on executives, and executives actually will move out the conventional but the knowledge industry also, because they have key customers. But more so in asset backed.
So I think I just add a little bit of a story here that maybe to give some perspective. So one of the things which I did when I started my company, and I share that for your colleague, I had the same dilemma, and that there was nobody to talk about it. I didn't have Mr. Chawla, nobody here in the town to talk about it. All I did that I said, look, I need some money to earn. And most of us, many of us, I noticed the youngsters at our age, we don't start a business because we keep moaning about the fact we don't have the money. And I was talking to a very successful set of people last week in Mount View. And they said, we remember many times we used to go to our chairman only crying, oh, we need more money. That's why we are not saving. a session was on scaling up, and everybody was talking about how to scale up. And it's a common you can say excuse that why we are not scaling up because we don't have the money. It's not right. It's not correct. If you really analyze the scaling up has nothing to do with money. Money follows if you have a scaling up plan, your readiness, your conviction, and then the money follows it, and you will get the scaling up done. I'm talking the secondary level right now. I'm just going from that to the startup. First thing, remember one thing, that if you're already in business, you're already running business for a couple of years, and now you want to scale up, and you're looking for, you think that you're not growing because you don't have the money, it is totally excuse. I did it for many years. I used to think for several years, oh, I wish I would have had, if I had more money, I would probably open offices in San Francisco, Bangalore, I would have been 10 times bigger. That's not what happened. But that would happen if that goes the other way. If I have that really conviction about my business, I'll anyway open the office and look for the money, I'll get the money. But do not blame absence of money for scaling up. That is one part. Now it will be the second part of that, because then we did a very good project, and IDS accumulated several crores into his. He said, oh my God, now we have money. And you won't believe, I burned that money in 3 years. 3 years I burned that accumulated money by trying different things of scaling up. And I was not ready. And I burned it up. So now I have gone through the whole cycle in that direction, and I know exactly. So many times I get hit by almost every second day some ventures, private ventures, somebody saying, look, we are ready to come and talk to you, and we would like to offer. Do I need money? No. I mean, I may be tight on my cash flow, I may be tight on anything, but I still will not look at the new money unless I have a conviction of a plan. Look, if I have a conviction of the plan, money is non-issue. So people who are coming to sell you the money at the second stage, be careful about that you must have a very strong reason to even talk to them, unless it's that. So do not get into the mode of taking money, because if you have not been even to scale up or not been successful with whatever money you have, it's unlikely with his money also you're not going to be successful. That is one thing I want to establish at the middle college. So it's a little different than many other things. So that is, I'm talking about mostly the secondary. Let's go back to advantage of the first level. So when I had come in, I said, hey, look, I need some money to start, and I didn't have the risk ability. I did not have the risk taking ability. So I met Mr. Bagalia. And I said, from his services, he said, why don't I put some risk money? And I said, look, I am from a service background. I can take risk only very limited. So he said, okay, I can take a bigger risk. So we cannot cap it up. In 1989, 10 lakhs was very large amount. We said, maximum risk we will take is 10 lakhs. If ever we finish 10 lakhs, we will part as friends. We will not even discuss it. We will have no more discussion after that. So now we capped up our risk, and I said, I don't have the money. He said, okay, it is my first 5 lakhs. And against 5 lakhs, I said, okay, I offer you 50% of the company. I had no other understanding. Here's your 50% of the company, which you own, because you are putting the money, I am putting my sweat, and I'll catch up with my 50% if it succeeds. If you burn it, you are putting your first 5 lakhs, you're gone. Another 5 lakhs you give me, 10 lakhs is your display. I'll give you a very true, absolutely inside story. You will not hear it. Now what happened? I burned the first. How you burn 5 lakhs? In those days, go back to US, because I love US. I was living in US. I went and met friends, traveled all over the world. Of course, I did not wasted it, but I was trying my level best to use that money. Burned the first 5 lakhs. It was very, very heavy heart. I had to inform him. First 5 lakhs are gone, and I think I can try another 5 lakhs now. So he says, okay, I'll give you 3 and 2. He's Marwadi, right? 3 and 2. I said, all right, let's do 3 and 2. So I got the 3 and started burning them very carefully. Then we got our first business. And just to skip the story, that 5 lakhs which he gave first, and the next 5 lakhs. Of course, the next 5 lakhs, as soon as the business started shaping up from that round, I also put in my $10,000 which I had saved in my service time. Now I also have the staking entity. So I kind of managed. But in real sense, that 5 lakhs which he put in on 50% equity, today is equal to 100 crores in today's valuation. But I'm not about the selling, I'm not selling it, but in today's real estate and put together, In 20 years, if 5 lakhs became 20 crores from his money, it becomes 100 crores from his money. So remember the golden rule at that time. Now he mentioned one very, very important thing. For all along in my life, if I keep thinking, oh my God, I need to share that with him, I will never grow. So anywhere, anything, you got to believe it. More you will have that ability to share with your partner, more you definitely like to grow. What did Mr. Pravinder say, the Fortis guy? Single most success point he says in Fortis is, he says equity holding to your chest just because you want to grow richer with that, it's not enough. It's shared as it is, but with the right people. So now I take back to the 50% which I got as 5 lakhs from then my 50% company. It's not about the 5 lakhs, because there are advantages. After that I used to go to bank. Even in the city, I used to go and tell that I'm a part of this club. How does it matter to me? A lot of people, actually we are not. A lot of people don't know, and nothing to do with this. In fact, many people, you're all youngsters, but people of my age in the town feel that I am a part of this sum, which we are not. Somebody gave me 5 lakh who happens to have his own company called this sum, has nothing to do with me. But I use that umbrella like hell. I went to my bank and said, oh, I'm a part of this sum group. So the minute you show somebody who's bigger than you can leverage that, you can leverage that very